Do you feel like you are strong enough in midlife? Are your bones strong enough in midlife and beyond? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Hi, this is Carrie Burrows from KB Consulting, your midlife mentor and motivator. And I want to share just a little of my own things that I've been going through for my midlife and research and some ideas of maybe where you should be looking into your health. So, have you turned 50 and went for your bone density scan, or what they call a DEXA, so DEXA? So normally your primary care physician or your OB/GYN will want, when you get close to that 50 mark as a preventative, they will schedule you for a DEXA scan, which is really just it's just laying in a comfortable bed, and it's an x-ray machine that kind of moves over you really slow, and they will take measurements of certain bones in your body, usually your spine, your femoral fat, your hip, your femoral head of your hip, and they'll look at if there's bone loss there or not. So when this happened to me at 50, I do believe in preventative medicine and things that we can do so that we know what's going on in our body. Even though I felt great and I felt strong, I could find out that I wasn't, and that I already at age 50 was starting to have what they call osteopenia. So osteopenia is the beginning of what would be bone loss, and meaning that it's, so you get a number, a score if you would, when you have this DEXA. And if you are osteopenia, that means that you are in a certain number, and then if you're osteoporosis, you're at a different number. So I was already in osteopenia at age 50. And I had 3 babies. I nursed them, for each one of them, for a year, and I probably didn't take in enough of the calcium, vitamin D that I needed, and so that depleted. And then going through peri-menopause and then moving into menopause, when we lose estrogen, that affects our bone density. And so it's another thing we have to go through. It's like we go through enough, and we have to go through this now. So we have to do other things instead. So have you gone to check that? Where are your levels? I never thought that I would ever have a problem with it, because I always thought I was so healthy, and I'm so glad that I did. So these are some things that you need to be aware of, and most insurance covers for a bone density test. And then if they do find you have osteopenia, they will probably put you on a regimen of calcium foods, rich foods. They'll put you on weight-bearing exercise, and they may put you on a supplement, because unfortunately we just don't get enough of that food in our body on a daily basis that maybe will help us with that bone loss. So research indicates that up to 20% of bone loss can happen during the stages of midlife. 1 in 10 women over the age of 60 are actually affected by osteoporosis. So the osteoporosis is when it's actually more severe. You could have bone pain, you could have fractures, and so that's what we want to not get, right? We want, as women in midlife, to be able to prevent that from happening, and you can. But some things that do affect whether you're going to get osteopenia or osteoporosis could be things like, if you're a smoker, that affects it. Genetics does have something to do with it. Poor diet also has something to do with it. And so you want to actually, help that. And also some certain medications also do affect your bone loss, or for your calcium to get absorbed into your bones, and phosphorus and those things, that the minerals that make them strong. So certain things also like celiac disease, inflammatory disease, those also can affect your bone loss. So other risk factors are insufficient amount of vitamin D and calcium. So vitamin D is so important. People forget that we need that for the calcium to bind and work. So we want to make sure that you get both. But menopause, unfortunately, affects our hormones, affects our estrogen, and it will bring that down. So once you do have your DEXA, and they do find that you are in a lower number for osteopenia, they will then keep scheduling you to go for another exam because you're now having treatment and they want to see how that's going. And that's actually what happened to me. So my doctor put me on a very strict regimen, a organic plant-based supplement that had calcium, it had vitamin D, it had K2, it had MK7, and it had phosphorus and magnesium. So it had all of those things in it. And I took them faithfully because I really wanted to get past that. And when I went for my next scan, it didn't increase at all. I had no increase in osteopenia. So then they repeated it again. So I go pretty frequently. I would say every year or 2 years. And this last one that I went on, it actually showed I did have a decrease. I did have more osteopenia. So I decided, I'm already eating calcium-rich foods. I'm already taking my supplement faithfully. I do weight-bearing exercise 3 days a week, and I'm active. I'm getting good sleep. What's missing? So something's not right. So I am approaching 60 at the end of this year, and I said, well, something must be changing in my body, or I need some more help. So I ended up going to a naturopath doctor instead of just my regular doctor who just wanted to put me on drugs. I didn't want medication. I wanted to try to heal myself more naturally. And they did a full nutrient panel. And this is something that you can ask for. And it showed that I had the calcium is in my blood, great levels. I had vitamin D in my blood, great levels. I had magnesium in my blood, great level. I had all of these things in my blood, but my body, my bones were not absorbing them to build the bone. And that is the help that I needed. So she decided to put me on a new supplement that is, again, natural based, but it has an added property to it that helps with that absorption into the bone. So it is a plant-based product, and it is from Japan. It's a Japanese, because I didn't want the soy bean, because soy products, some of them have known to cause breast cancer, so I didn't want that one. So she recommended one that had one called gynostine, and it's made from a plant based out of Japan, and it's actually a phytoestrogen that acts as a mild selective estrogen receptor molecule, which positively regulates bone cell metabolism and helping with absorption. So that is the new supplement that I am on. It's called Osteoben, and I have been on it faithfully since December. And so she's gonna wait a year, and we'll be doing another DEXA scan and seeing if at least if my bone growth has not diminished, my density hasn't diminished, it's stayed stable, because it's not bad, but it's still there. Or has it gotten even better? That's my hope, is that it's even going to get better. So I want you to be aware of this and have that conversation. And if you need to go to a naturopath to get that added support because you want to go more holistically, absolutely. Find somebody that specializes in female hormones and menopause. That's what I did. So other things that you can do besides weight-bearing exercise, so that yes, strength and resistance. We need to be doing that more as women in midlife, getting good sleep. And then here's some foods that you can add to your diet. Things like leafy greens, and I mean even some of the weird greens like dandelion greens, collard greens. Like, go and get them, put them in stir fries, put them in your salad, and add them in. Things like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, those all have added calcium in it. Winter squashes do, so you should be able to find them right now. It's March, so you should be able to find winter squashes without any problem. Canned sardines, salmon, especially if it has the bones in it. And then things like kiwi, oranges, tangerines, papaya, blackberries. And then our dairy products. I try not to eat too much dairy myself, but you can still do a goat milk, a sheep's milk. It's really me. I try to stay more away from the cow's milk. But you can also do things like the plant-based milks, the cashew milk, the almond milk, the soy milk, the rice milk, those things. You can add those, and those would also give you calcium. So you can make a really good smoothie with that, and hopefully have strong bones so that you can be vibrant and do all of the amazing things that you want in life. But talk to your practitioner, like have that partnership, get your tests done, and be that advocate, and have that self-care and self-love for yourself so that you can go through midlife and beyond strong. So my heart to you as always, Carrie Burrows from KB Consulting, your midlife mentor and motivator.